When I sit here and think about the human experience and our true nature, I think about how far we are from that. I propose you treat this like practice. You treat it as an experience of a physical vibrational world that goal is to break through that and how to manifest that energy here on earth. How does the vibrational energy, like when you think about quantum physics, string theory, how does how do those areas, those concepts and theories we understand to be truths transform into the physical world, right? I know back years ago when 5G was new and everyone was talking about it. And then in came like the introduction to normal consumers being able to have AI. Now we're talking 6G. What is creating that possibility? It's creativity, ingenuity, taking action on these very broad, wild concepts. Science and the universe of spirituality and intuition, they are actually the same thing. We're just coming into a time where we're merging these together. But what is the true nature of humanity? It's to have those experiences, it's to experiment, it's to try out different things. How are we creating those energies we know exist, bringing them down into a physical form that can be utilized for the positive of humanity? And in order to do that, you have to focus on your intuition. I always joke around with everyone that it would be so much easier if everyone was telepathic because I communicate with so many people that way and it is so much faster. There's no labels, there's no constructs. It is just there. It just is, right? And you can communicate so much faster. Same with being able to energetically travel, right? Some call it astral traveling. There's all these labels for it, right? But you get the idea. Like these things like levitation, traveling, telepathy, they're all real. You just have to tap into that vibration. The easiest way to do that is through meditation. But you can do it several other ways. You definitely have to be focused on your intuition. We have really heavily focused on our verbal communication. We have very heavily focused on our body, but in different ways. Like we're hyper focused on aging, weight, what people look like. The body's a tool. That's the human experience. You have this spirit, this soul, whatever label you want to put on it, that is not attached to the body as far as like the permanent attachment. It is attached to the body as a tool. That's why you have to take care of it. You have to eat right, sleep, hydrate, exercise and move the energies of the energy forms inside this physical body of yours because it's the tool you have in this life of the human experience to execute all of those intuitions, to execute that energy, to execute that physical experience we have as humans. So when you're sitting here thinking about, the human experience and the nature, your purpose, we are all unique. No one is special. You'll hear me say that. Nobody is special, but we are all unique. Every one of us has a unique pattern, a unique footprint in what we're here to do. You have a construct that is a pattern, a soul DNA, a physical DNA, all these things come into your system. And you have to spend the time to break the unnecessary patterns, create the new spacious patterns, and keep going through this cycle as you continue to grow in your intuition. And as you grow into your intuition, your intelligence is immediately heightened. Your stamina and vitality is immediately heightened. You're able to remove yourself from an emotional state and start experiencing blissful states more consistently. Hence, this is why meditation is so important, because it's tapping into that alpha part of our brain, that part of our brain that has been kind of suffocated over the years. And we are now in this state of harmony and abundance and bliss in life that we can very easily tap into that part of our brain. We have the science to prove it. We have the tools to use to help manifest that. So your human experience is taking that divine purpose you have that's unique to you, manifesting it into a physical form for the prosperity of humanity, so that we can continue to have this blissful state and create a new society that is something that we're more in line with. So we're not having burnout. We're not having just a phenomenal amount of mental health and illness, because most of these conditions are from programming. I'm not saying they're not real. These are real things. But when you look at this seed and the core of it, it's often a detachment of the mind, body, spirit. And when we can come into an alignment with the mind, body, spirit, we can experience more bliss and harmony. I go through a lot of this in Spiritual Pathfinders. We start with mindful morning, which is also a part of Spiritual Pathfinders, but you can also do them separately, where you're getting an alignment every day with this calmness, this harmony, and this vibe all of your own. So you're starting your day with bliss and intention. And then when you go into Spiritual Pathfinders, we develop all of these clairs. And there's other levels of Spiritual Pathfinders where we unpack the science for you of human consciousness, the brain's construct, the endocrine system, the nervous system, and how all these work together. And then you start to understand how these patterns of the DNA from different areas that were seeded in this form for you are all in existence. And once you identify these things, you can start unpacking the pattern, creating a new one, so that you are in a situation of being able to break free from these constraints that we've been programmed with into our society and really have a blissful experience. It's quite lovely. And I encourage everybody to take this journey. Even if it's not with me, you should be taking this journey, right? Find a safe place, find someone you trust, find someone who understands intuition and the clairs and the universe and has these conversations that they can share with you to help you develop and answer some of those questions for your human brain, your heart, mind, and your whole physiology, being able to comprehend and see these ideas, theories, philosophies into a space where you can be abundant and spacious. So, with all of that being said, do something now. Where's your true nature? Identify your true nature. Peel back all of those layers. And once you find your true nature, you will find so much peace in life, yourself, and just a flow of abundance.